All right, Coach, just overall thoughts on tonight's game.
Well, it looked like we played a young quarterback tonight. You know, that was frustrating. We did not do a very good job offensively making the adjustments that we needed to on the sidelines. We thought we had them. We didn't execute them on the field, and you know, it's easy to point fingers. Everything could have been better. You know, I thought defensively we played extremely well. We played one of the better tailbacks in the conference. For the most part, handled them extremely well. Put our offense in positions to capitalize, and we didn't do that. So, you know, it was a game of momentum. We never, you know, we were given those opportunities to capitalize on some of the momentum we had, and didn't do it.
You mentioned a young quarterback, and I saw you pull him aside on the sidelines a couple times. What was your message to him throughout the game?
It varied. You know, there's times I needed to get on him, times where I needed to pat him on the back. You know, it's his first start. Mike's talented. We got to be behind him and got to believe in him. But in the same sense, he's got to be better, and Mike knows that. He was frustrated tonight, just like the rest of us. So I thought Mike was nervous in the first quarter. Sailed a couple passes. He hasn't done that. He hasn't thrown like that in the practice. So it's a learning experience for all of us, and you know, we got a lot of football left.
You guys had a couple of early penalties in the first quarter, and then the fumble return for a touchdown. What was your message to the team to just kind of calm those nerves?
Yeah, the fumble, you know, in the first quarter obviously was a lot of momentum for Sioux Falls, and again, that was early enough in the game. It didn't have that big effect on the football game. We didn't put any yards up, you know, offensively to even put a threat against Sioux Falls. So fumble those things are going to happen. Obviously, we should take care of the football, but just, you know, disappointing offensively, and it was a lot of it was just adjustments. We got to be better there.
You mentioned it was hard to capitalize on the momentum that you guys had throughout the game. What's your message to the team following a frustrating game?
Yeah, well, I told these guys it's been 23 games since we've walked off this field as a loser. You know, that loss stings. Sioux Falls came and played well. We didn't play well tonight, and it was. Bottom line is for our team is we got a lot of season left ahead of us, so we can either hang our heads and let this ruin our football season, or we can move on to Upper Iowa, and our guys will respond. We got a long week ahead of us here with 10 days off, and got to make sure that we're more dialed in than we were tonight.
Any quick thoughts on how to regroup for next week?
You just got to flush this. You know, we have a 24-hour rule in our program. You know, win or lose, it's got to be behind you in 24 hours. So when our guys show up tomorrow, we'll review the film. You know, we got to learn from it and then prepare for Upper Iowa. And it wasn't energy tonight. I thought our guys played hard all night. Just we couldn't get anything going offensively, and you know, we've been fortunate in the past. We haven't had that issue. We've been able to throw points on the board. And when we sputtered, and you know, our defense continued to put stop after stop after stop, and even red zone stops, those are tough to swallow. So things we can learn from. We're good enough on the perimeter. We'll be able to make plays. We just, you know, starting next week, that needs to happen.
All right. How do you guys regroup, knowing that every loss counts towards playoffs?
I mean, you know, we faced it in the past 2 years where, you know, we come out week one and we kind of lay an egg. It's just tough, you know. In Molosky, we have a 14-game win streak here. Now it ended. That's a tough way to go. But I think what we've really emphasized here is team. So we'll get back after it this next week, regroup, and, you know, pinpoint our sights. We got to get back to the playoffs. So, you know, other than that, we'll be all right.
As far as film goes, is this what you expected out of these guys tonight?
Yeah, we actually we had game plan for a lot of this, you know, power type stuff, you know, counters, outside zone. So we had prepared for everything that we saw. You know, it just took us a while in the first quarter for the defense to get our gap schemes right. You know, I was too far outside some of the times, and that can't happen. But, you know, we got to figure it out, and I think our defense played pretty damn well.
Following the first quarter and even halftime, what adjustments were made, if any?
At halftime, I mean, defense, we didn't make too much adjustments. I mean, our biggest concern was just staying consistent with our energy, with everything about that, you know. I mean,
now, positive side to the game, you guys only held them to 200 yards total. How do you continue that for the rest of the season?
I mean, we continue that with just the younger classmen buying in too. You know, I mean, if you don't have a good rotation with other guys coming in, it's tough. You know, because the starters can't play the whole game. And so, you know, some teams, the number twos come in and they give up big plays for big yards, but we've got a good core group, and I think we'll stay consistent, and I think we're very determined in the film room and in practice. So,
as a captain, what's your message to the team after a frustrating game like tonight?
You know, we gotta take this in, realize what we did wrong, and bounce back you know, it's kind of cliche, but honestly, that's what you have to do. One game isn't a season. You know, we've started the last 3 years like this. It's disappointing. We want to get off to a better start, but honestly, it's just learn from your mistakes and just bounce back as quick as possible.
Tonight was the first night you didn't have Drew Bauer under center. You got a younger quarterback in Mike. What do you say to him after kind of a tough game tonight?
You know, we just got to instill confidence in him. You know, it's a big stage coming from a guy who didn't play for 2 years. You know, coming out of high school, he hasn't played for 2 years, hasn't been hit in 2 years. It's you know, it's a big stage. It's under the lights. You got all of Malosky filled with fans. So we just got to instill our confidence in him. Let him know that we have his back. We believe in him, and just got to work on the little things and just get better next week.
You guys had a 22 game win streak at Malosky Stadium snap tonight. How do you take that and use it to fuel next week and even the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. Myself, I feel like I let my team down. I know as a whole we feel like we let, you know, Bulldog country down. We don't lose here, and we did tonight, so it's disappointing. We just got to bounce back and, you know, take a little bit more pride, take a little bit more effort into practice, and, you know, learn from our mistakes and come back stronger. That's all we can do.
Did it surprise you guys to see how much blitzing was kind of done by Sioux Falls tonight? Were you guys expecting that, or?
We knew they were going to come after Mike. You know, as any good defensive coordinator would, you come after a young quarterback, you come after an inexperienced guy. I thought our offensive line handled the pressures well. You know, it's kind of hard to see with myself, my back's to them while I'm running routes, but you know, I felt we did all right in pass protection, and you know, I think we just, you know, it's hard to say. We'll have to look at the film and realize what we can get better at there.